Blake mentioned a few times that he wanted the show to get a little bit grimy, a little dirty
Yes.
on this show. So as we were kind of figuring out what we wanted to do, I came across a genre of films called pinky violence. And an amazing title for a genre. But they're a series of films from Japan in the late 60s through the 70s that are basically, I really couldn't find an exact description of it, but it's just badass women kicking ass in the most violent ways possible. Found a whole list of these movies as I'm looking to try to stream them. None of them. Couldn't find anything at all
Yeah.
until we finally came across our first pick, Lady Snowblood. Oh, Lady Snowblood from 1973. It's on HBO Max. It's the story of a woman, the titular Lady Snowblood, who's seeking revenge for acts against her mother, and that's pretty much it. Um, you've seen Kill Bill, I would imagine, right?
Oh, yeah.
Really heavy Kill Bill vibes
Oh,
immediately in this movie.
yeah. To not, yeah, I'm glad we're talking about it right up at the top because there's no way that you could have seen Kill Bill, in particular the O Ren Ishii segment, and not
Yeah.
think of this, if and not think of that while watching this. I mean, there's even a scene at the, I mean, jumping way ahead, there's scenes towards the end that are almost like, holy shit, are they going to just do the exact same thing that did Tarantino just copy this directly? So yeah, you can't help but think of it, and just image wise, music,
The music,
um,
the song, like the
the,
opening song in Lady Snowblood is from Kill Bill
yeah,
uses the opening song from Lady Snowblood.
yeah. So I mean, it's definite homage, and I will say this about the beginning though, man. I have a very hard time with babies screaming in films, and this pushed my absolute limit, sir.
It goes on for a while. Like the only way, because I'm the same way. After a while, I'm like, okay,
Oof.
cut it. Like make it look like their eardrums have burst or do something. Like I'm
Yeah.
what I was able to get through it though because they were focusing so much on the woman giving that it looked like
Yeah.
she was crying,
Yeah.
and that was kind of funny to me.
Honestly, it was well shot. That whole scene was actually pretty cool. But
Yeah.
golly, that screaming, dude. This is there was a lot of weird audio in this movie.
There
Other than the music, there was. Yeah.
there's also some of it's really cool. Like so,
Yeah.
fountains of blood in this.
Oh,
Fountains of blood.
geysers. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just shooting, and then when the person falls over, it runs, and it sounds like a babbling brook.
Yeah. I thought of Project Wolf Hunting in this. This is
Yeah,
probably the only movie of recent memory where I can like, the audible gushing and pouring of blood onto the floor is such a visceral part of the film going experience.
and you mentioned how well shot the opening is. With martial arts kung fu movies, like as fast paced and as awesome as they are, like very rarely do you say like, wow, that's
Yeah.
beautifully shot. Or there's some great imagery in
Yeah.
it. This movie has some beautiful imagery.
Yeah, no, this is a, I had no idea what to expect when you told me this is what we were going to be watching. And I found it crazy that it was like on HBO or something, right? We watched this on
Yeah,
like
HBO
HBO
Max. Yeah,
Max.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's like a really high quality, cut of this old movie, and it's a very visually cool movie. Like the way that lady Snowblood, like just the way she looks is very like haunting.
I love it
And
and
yeah,
beautiful.
beautiful. She's very beautiful. And but she looks intimidating
Yeah,
with all that too. Very cool movie, and a very cool aesthetic to this movie.
the umbrella that she, everything about,
Yeah.
there's just a beauty about her. And then, like you said, her facial expression, she's intimidating, but you can also see the frustration
Yeah.
that's in her. Like she's never, ever, ever, ever in a good mood, like
No.
at all. Not that she's like dour all the time. Like she's very focused and serious
She's
and
just
wants
here
to
to
go.
take care of business, man. She's not here for any other reason.
Just an amazing character. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if they make them like that anymore. Like
Don't know. Yeah.
she's pretty awesome. This movie broken down into chapters with really cool names. Like I love the name of the final chapter. I think it's called the pleasure palace, the final
Mhm.
carnage. And
Yeah.
the way the chapters flow from one to the another was actually very well done. Like it definitely felt like the end of a segment or a story.
Yeah, I thought this was yeah, it had like a very storybook kind of like flow to the how the movie moved along. And yeah, I really liked it. You know, you might take it to akin to like, well, I mean, shit, just any of those Tarantino movies, you know, he chapterizes all that shit. And
Yeah,
again, this is, you know, you can just see, you know, this would be right at home in any like really cool old retro grindhouse cinema like movie party, you know, that has so much style to it that I am really made me wonder like what other stuff the filmmaker had done, because it was such a, you know, you don't really see stuff like this even in from the 70s.
you don't even in these kinds of picks. This
Mm-hmm.
stands out. This stands aside from it, which isn't to say it's like head and shoulders above them or anything. It's just
No.
a different aesthetic. Is all. Like
Yeah.
those movies are very much focused on the action of the storytelling, the blood in the nudity, whatever. This one has it's taking in like the art of filmmaking almost, which is kind of weird from this kind of movie.
Yeah.
I really like the use of the narrator in this. Is it's a short movie, it's like an hour and a half,
Yeah.
and instead of having scenes that kind of go back and go through everything, the narrator just tells you what this is the year, this is what happened, this is what the bad guys are doing, and this is why Snowblood has to do what she wants to do. Like it's very straight and to the point. And
Yeah.
nowadays narrators are kind of more to get like a character over, and they have these like really
Mhm.
flowery speeches and stuff. Like this is just like, here's what's happening and now you're gonna watch it.
Yeah. Information, sir or madam.
I did that. This is, from the early 70s or whatever. And we were talking about the beautiful imagery in this. There is some unintentional shaky cam throughout the camera. I think they
Yeah.
needed a tripod or something.
Yeah, there's some real funny shit that along with that, like that I thought was actually like, oh, are they trying to be disorienting? No, I don't
No.
think so at all. They were
Just
just trying to shoot some action and it was going poorly.
yeah, the camera was just getting too heavy for the guy and it was really cold. Just shaking.
Yeah, yeah, man.
The For a while in this is that they have the training montage, which, and this is from 73, so spoiler alert. I mean, we're just gonna let you know everything that happened. But I thought they were gonna go like, I thought the whole movie might be a training montage, kind of like a 36 chamber, but there's just the one kind of like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minute section.
Yeah, someone.
But I like the one where he puts her in a barrel and she's rolling down and she just shoots out of it, which is a rock. That dude was a hardcore trainer.
Oh, he was such a dick, dude. He was such an asshole. But yeah, obviously training worked. But yeah, the that whole it was actually really cartoonish. But I
Yeah,
loved it. I loved how silly it was, and he was a I could go for a whole side movie or that was like his history. I want to know how he where he comes from and why he's training now.
he actually used to be a very nice
Yeah.
he had a singing monkey and he would play the organ grinder.
Exactly.
So, something rotted him.
Yeah, something rotted him to the core.
The I liked, so this is a revenge movie, and
Oh
I
yeah.
liked how she it takes her a while to get her, like her mom has killed one person, or one person when she finds him he's actually really sickly, so it's not
Yeah.
really that satisfying. The third person commits suicide before she can kill them,
Yep.
and then she finally does get to the last person. But the I like how it's not just her. Oh yeah, she's because it's all the time in kung fu movies they have to face like 5 different people and they go and beat them or
Yeah.
whatever. She doesn't really get them to the last one, though. The one who committed suicide, pretty awesome scene when she finds the body and she just chops the body in half.
Oh, so that's the beginning of just my favorite sequence of the whole movie, which is, you know, this like whole crazy crescendo. Yeah, which the evil witch lady with the green lights, she was creepy, dude.
Yeah,
That was creepy. That was cool filmmaking too. That was a
right.
very simple effect to be very creepy and weird. And yeah, so she comes in and she finds her hanging there. And you can tell she's kind of like, well, shit, you know, this sucks.
Yeah,
And is it her brother or whoever the dude is?
the son of the
Son of
final person.
yes, yes, right. He's he's like, damn, like you didn't get your vengeance, and she like just cuts her in half, and like this is streams of blood, and yeah, so she still does get her vengeance on it. So I'm glad she chopped her in half. But then that proceeds to go into this whole like the whole party thing at the end is just crazy. Like
It is.
it is so wacky. And even to the point where they do this bait and switch thing at the very end with like the big bad guy.
Yeah. The I thought they were going to do like what's that one? Shogun Assassin, where it's the same thing. He has to get revenge on 4 or 5 different people, and he only gets to 2 of them, and then the movie ends after that. Like there's still 3 more that he has to get to. And I thought this was going to be like the same thing where the big bad gets away, leading to a sequel type of thing. But no, she gets them.
Yeah.
I liked it. You bring up some good points from the suicide scene, like when she first sees the body there and she hasn't gotten to them, even though it's because of her, the person committed suicide.
Right.
But you can tell she's disappointed. Like
Oh yeah.
she wanted like a really visceral hands-on killing of this person.
Yeah.
And then the her friend who's with her, when she chops the body in half, like the look on his, he's like kind of shocked, kind of disgusted,
Yeah.
scared of her.
Yeah.
Like it's like you said, just a very, very beautifully shot scene with
Yeah.
a surprising amount of subtlety and nuance to it.
Yeah. It really is from when they shoot it from behind, so you can see the body hanging, pouring blood, and then you get their facial expressions, which is one's totally horrified and shocked, and one is like mad but satisfied. It's very cool. It's a very cool shot.
Yeah, very well done. And then just if you're like a gore hound, I mean, it's you
Loved it.
literally see this body being split in half and just
Yeah.
blood leaking out of it. Like
Yeah.
it's really good stuff. And then the ending, this is the thing where I had the biggest problem. It is a little anticlimactic because
Yeah.
there's a cool thing where because of another person she killed, that person's daughter comes after her and
Yeah.
stabs her. And I say her, Yuki, Lady Snowblood, gets stabbed, and then she just kind of wanders out into the snow, which is where she was born. So it kind of, I guess, there's like a full circle type of thing going on there.
Sure.
And then she just collapses, and the sun rises, and the movie ends.
Yeah. Not the most, not what you want for Lady Snowblood. You
Mm,
wanted her almost right off into the sunset, maybe.
That's what I wanted. I
Yeah, I
did.
mean, she deserved her vengeance. These were terrible people.
Yeah,
And yeah, I agree. And there also lots of firearms at the end. More firearms than I thought there would be at the end.
yeah, a surprising amount. Like when the lady used them the first time, I was like, oh, like that's her weapon. But
Yeah.
then the next guy started using it. I was like,
Yeah. Like,
kind of ruined it with the previous one.
yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, so I actually looked it up because I was I was kind of bummed out by there is a Lady Snowblood too now. Okay. So maybe that was just them wanting to leave it open to a sequel, but yeah, it doesn't put a cherry on top of the violent greatness that they had built.
Yeah, because you open it up with like this, like, and it's beautiful. She's walking in the snow, and she has her umbrella,
Oh yeah.
and these like 4 guys go after her, and that's when you first see this fountains of blood spouting off
Yeah.
everywhere, and it's really, really shocking. And the ending, you're expecting to see, at least I was expecting to see something similar, um, and then the way it ends was like really, really anticlimactic and a downer. It to me, it almost would have been better for it to end after she chopped the lady in half, and then like a curtain like literally drops.
Oh.
I thought that was the ending. Actually, I was like, oh, I
That
thought
was, yeah.
it
What
was
was
kind of
up with
weird.
that? What did you think about that? Right? Like I thought that was like, yeah, real interesting because it's the only time they do it in the movie where they like give you this kind of theatrical screen drop. Strange.
Yeah, it's really good, and because they did that, and it looks really cool.
It
It's like
does.
it looks really cool, and I was like, okay, like she still has the big bad to get to, but they've already said that he died on an island or whatever, even though that wasn't the case. But they've
Yeah.
led you to believe that, so it kind of would have seemed like, oh yeah, she killed the final person, and she didn't get the revenge exactly how she wanted it, but she still did do
Yeah,
something to
right.
satisfy her. So it would have been a
Yeah,
pretty cool ending. But
it would have been.
that being said, like you said, the masquerade ball was a really fun little
Oh yeah,
scene. Yeah, I guess I wish it ended a little bit more strongly.
I agree. I agree.
So, Lady Snowblood, it's on HBO Max right now, and just a trigger warning for people: it does have some sexual violence in it, but if you're not too worried about that kind of stuff, HBO Max, Lady Snowblood. So, Blake, C or no C?
Yeah, I think you should see it. And you know me, I'm not a fan at all of violence like that
Yeah.
on film. But this movie does such a cool job with such a wide variety of things, and I think you're going to see its influence through exploitation kung fu movies through the 80s and Tarantino movies and the whole bit. So I think you should definitely check out Lady Snowblood.
It's always cool to look at a movie from the past and be like, "Oh wow, this is where Tarantino got an idea." Or the woman who ended up committing suicide, her face, she looked like a lot of anime villains.
Yeah.
I think a lot of anime villains are designed after her. But it's cool to see that inspiration, and it's also just like a really kick-ass movie that will surprise you with the amount of story and character it has to it. So,
Mhm.
Lady Snowblood, I would say definitely check it out.